Hello, everybody. Isamu Sushi here, and I have some friends. Now, there's plenty of people that have done videos on this, so let me first start off by saying I am no expert. I just wanted to share, as far as key impressioning goes, some of the things that I have learned in the short time that I've been doing it. Also, I've done a short one before when I did my uh, U.S. Post Office key, but there's a few things I forgot to explain. I thought it might make a little bit more sense. So, first thing I recommend is get a wafer lock. Now, the reason we say wafer lock is because it's going to leave much more distinct marks on your key. And of course, I had to get one with a door on it. Let's see. So there's the wafers inside, the brass wafers at the top. And, oh, sorry, wait. Oh, there they are. I don't know if you can see them. They're kind of down in there a little ways. But the wafers are right there at the top. They're going to act just like key pins. But they leave a mark in the key, much more aggressive mark than what a pin tumbler would do if you were to impression a tumbler type lock. So that's why I say recommend with that. I thought I was going to have to go with like getting my microscope set up and buying 3 or 4 different locks. And it turns out technically I don't. If I just explain things right and kind of show you what I mean on this, hopefully that makes sense. And I don't make a complete ass of myself. So please bear with me, I'm not feeling too well. So I just wanted to get this out there for my friends that are looking for a little bit of help. So this is my micro file set. And these two have diamonds in them, diamond files. The rest are just regular metal files. And then these are 1/16 shanks. The rest are 1/8 of an inch shanks, except for everything inside of these little ones are minis. I think they're oh, except for some of the diamond ones are 1/8 inch shank. But most of the time I'm just using a plain metal file. Now, usually if I'm using a full-size file, I just use a round rat tail. But since I'm using microfiles, a lot of the times what I'll end up doing is getting the half moon. And the reason being is because you don't want such a sharp channel with the round rat tail if it has to go deep and not be able to ease those corners. So I found that these half moons will ease those corners out so the rest of the pins without hitting the bottom and taking more out of the bottom. So usually those are the only 2 files I'm using, with the exception of always starting out with a flat surface. So they stamp these out of a solid piece of metal, then they punch them, so this edge is going to have all sorts of weird marks on it. Also, when you're filing, I didn't explain this very good in the last video, but you file in one direction and one direction only. Do not drag the file back across the key as you're coming back. The teeth only cut in the forward position just like a saw. When you file in a single direction, what it's actually going to do is it's going to leave mill marks in your key at roughly at that angle that, I don't know if you can even see the angle, but at the angle that the teeth are cut into your file. So everything's going to have a nice uniform pattern to it. Any marks that are left by your tool will have a nice uniform pattern. Now you can see I've already marked these ones here, sorry, there you go. Now you can see I marked those ones there, but it still kind of stands. So I'm going to finish this top off and get it nice and clean. Get all my marks off of there. Make sure you're only filing in the forward position. Okay, and then also another thing that helps is a permanent marker. So I mark it with a permanent marker. You can use metal marking dies, but that's much cheaper and more readily available. So I've got it marked there. I'm going to insert and just lightly turn around. Say you bounce up and down, go left and right. Okay, you're talking about pin tumblers. You need a hard, good mark on there. Just start by rotating it back and forth. Okay, you do not need to bounce up and down at first. Just start by going back and forth. Now, I hope you can see. Let me get the right lighting. I got to look at my phone. So you can see it's leaving marks on there. So there's where each one of my key pins lie, is where it left a mark on the key there. And that's where I got my side mark. So after that, I marked down the side where each one of my center key pins are. And that's basically where I start, is right there. Now, once I've got a mark, then I'm going to take my file and I'm going to start a mark just so I got a start cut. You'll see a lot of times you can buy online pre-started keys. This is all I'm doing, is marking it and kind of getting the initial depth. Don't go too much because you don't want to go down. I'm trying to get work around that squiggle in my file, that bend. So don't go too much because you don't want to go past that first depth in case you have some of your keys that are using the max lift. And if it's a zero lift, this may even be too much. But if that was the case, likely it wouldn't leave a mark on the key. And I've got a mark in all 4 places. Okay, so kind of went back and forth there to get it started, and then single direction, light pressure. Try to keep the same amount of pressure every time so you get used to how much material you're taking off per pass. Things like that come into play. You can kind of see there how I've got it started. And then all I'm going to do, let me just very light pressure and touch these up. Make sure I got the top marks as clean as possible. Okay. So see, if I was starting to go too deep, then I would use the half moon to kind of ease it off, but no big deal. Now, then you just take your permanent marker. Let's do another mark. Okay, let's let it dry for a minute. Let's see how big of an ass I can make of myself here. Okay, so we got that done. We're going to go back in. Now, you could start kind of jiggling up and down. I generally don't. I just kind of go back and forth again and check my key. Oh, I don't know if I can give you a good view of this. So what it's doing is it's nicking the very side and the bottom of this slot right here. Now, none of the other ones look touched. That's not touched at all. You got to be kidding me. So I got a mark just in the middle too. So let me just clean up the middle too. And then I know number 2 had a mark. So I'm going to take some out of that, drop that a little deeper, and use my rat tail just to ease off any dips. Oh, shit. Let's see here. I gotta go this way. Sorry, guys. I'm doing my best here. Don't go too deep. You don't want to hit the bottom of your hole. You're just easing off those peaks right there so that the pins or wafers or whatever can slide up and down while you slide your key in. Okay. Let's see. I'll remark it. Okay, we go back in. Let's rotate. Oh, shit. Okay, so you can see why we say start with wafer locks. Okay, that was, now see, it's still tight. So some of those wafers are pushing on the key harder than others. So I could keep going. It looks like I'm rubbing on the side of one of my mounds, so I might be off just a little bit. So you could just take a little bit more if you wanted, but if you have a working key, then there's really no sense in bothering with all of that, is there? Then you basically turn that tip out of there so I can loosen my clamp here. And there you go. There's your key. That must be all max lift except for that number 2. Because it works. It's a little snug right there at the end, but that's just right where it's lifting that locking pawl up out of the way. And there you have it. Oh, here, let's look at the keys. So there's the cut on the keys. Yep, you can see it. So you could see I could go quite a bit more. I could go a little bit more on each one. It would probably smooth it out. Looks like number 3 is a hair higher than number 4. But yeah, I mean, that's why we say start with wafer locks. You'll get a better idea of what the marks look like where you need to remove. Get a magnifying glass and some really good lighting. Some say UV light bulbs. I tried that with a real powerful UV, but it has a filter on it that I think was causing problems. So it didn't help me at all. I just use regular light, permanent marker or something to mark your metal, and get plenty of key blanks on hand. You can see I prepped all of these. Got the tops all cleaned off, marked where each pin was, getting them ready to go. So all I had to do was add more ink and start, or clamp them up. But that's it for you guys. I hope I didn't make it look too easy. It does take a little bit of practice, but wafer locks will give you a good chance at getting a feel for it. Thank you to everybody that follows me. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And if you stuck with me this whole time, thank you for bearing with me. Once again, I kind of feel like crap. So thanks for sticking through the video and helping the algos. Hell yeah to the algo gods. Peace out, all. Have a great night.